Everyone's been through dark days. I've had my own personal experience with injuries.
I remember just sitting there in tears, really, that this was never going to be the same again.
When people are feeling low, we're there for one another, we're helping each other move forward.
I'm Leon McKenzie.
And I'm Jason Cundy.
And we're here today at Power League Battersea, but we're not here to play the beautiful game, Jason.
Not just that.
We're here to talk modern football thanks to Free and talkSPORT.
We're going to be talking to a couple of our hosts from the talkSPORT Fan Network, Chris Cowlin from the Spurs Chat and Justin Bieber from the Do Not...
Justin BT.
Justin Beattie from the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes Watford podcast. We're going to talk with the highs and the lows, the ups and downs of being a football fan. And let's be honest, those boys have had plenty of lows.
A bit like your lows, Jay. You're mid-table at the moment.
No, it's not been a good season, mate. It's not been a good season, but you know.
But more importantly, we're here to discuss why the football community can be a safe space to open up to your mates, or if you have a friend who's going through a difficult time.
Absolutely. Let's go and speak to the boys.
Let's do this. Thanks for joining us, gents, and what a beautiful day we have. I see, Justin, you've got your sunglasses on.
Yeah, it's a prescription, mate, prescription.
And we all got the memo about the dark clothing, hey?
We did, yeah.
Chris, I'm going to come to you first. Let's talk about places like this and what they can do in terms of bringing football fans together.
Really important. I've got some great memories laying five-a-side and meeting up with friends. Great for the physical side of your health and great for the mental side as well.
Jason, any luck of some five-a-sides out of you?
Unfortunately, matey, those days are over. My knee is shot to pieces. I can't do anything, but my brother plays five-a-side and I understand how important it is. But look, one thing we have in common as football fans is that we remember our first game. There's always that first game, who you went with, what the memories are, the bonding process. Leon, what was your first game?
It was the 1990 Crystal Palace v Man United final at
FA
Wembley.
Cup.
Yes.
Got tickets for that?
Yes. Somehow I knew a few people, and what was surreal for me as well was that 5 years on I went and had my professional debut for Crystal Palace. So watching Wrighty come on and score the 2 goals became like a massive fan, and rest is history sort of thing. What about you, Chris?
No one forgets their first game. It was Ipswich away for me. It was an away game. My mum and dad took me. Of course, it was the year after you scored that goal at Ipswich.
Yes, the shinner.
Yeah, Sheringham put us 1-0 up, and then Dazelle scored right at the end. So we drew 2-2.
Well, mine was 1976 at Stamford Bridge. I remember my dad taking me in November for my birthday.
1976?
1976. Okay, you're right. Did they go out? Right. But Justin, I know you've got a very special memory of your own as well.
Yeah, 85, August 85. My first game at Vicarage Road. I went with my dad and my brother. My brother sort of had to work, so he didn't go very often, but I went with my dad. And then in 2018, I actually lost my dad. And that was really, really difficult because all of a sudden there's an empty chair next to where I used to sit, and it was really, really hard. So I ended up asking the club if they would move me to another part of the stand. I found myself very much alone then. I was kind of sitting with people I didn't know, and I just needed an outlet for my football experience, if you like. So after time, I started a podcast, or I found somebody else to start a podcast with, and we've been running that now for about 4 years. And we do things like we do a thing called a Twitter space after every game where we get other fans on and we all talk about our experiences of the game. This has grown now into us having friends that we never met before, people that we now meet before games, after games, people that we call friends. We all sort of get together and talk to each other, and from being sat on my own 4 years ago, as there's now 50, 60 people maybe that I see every game, I can pick any one of them or all of them to speak to. It's been very, very rewarding doing that. So that's my football journey there.
And that's a massive transition from that moment of sitting on your own with your own emotions and your memories there, but then obviously going on to building something and transitioning into the podcast that you've got.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it was horrible. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. I remember just, sitting there in tears, really, that this was never going to be the same again. And then, through various things that I've done since, it's just become so much more rewarding. So, yeah, it's a complete turnaround. You
do go there and share those experiences, and at half time before the game, there might be the match day experience, you go and have a bite to eat, and afterwards you kind of have a debrief, but it is an extended family.
Absolutely, it's really emotional, and you meet new people every single week. And like Justin said, because recording the podcast, you meet even more people as well, and we all share the same passion. We all share the same passion for our football club. It's great how you can meet so many people supporting a football club.
We've just been talking about football fans connecting and the different transitions in that. Do you feel like football fans nowadays are more comfortable talking about their feelings and emotions?
Absolutely. I think that nowadays people talk about everything, and even when we go to the away games, I'm normally the driver and I'm normally asking everyone questions about the game, and we're talking about the game, but on the way back, we could talk about any subjects. When people are feeling low or they're feeling down about certain things in their life, we talk about that. We're there for one another. We're there to help one another. Not only are we each other's friends, but we're helping each other, you know, grow as people and move forward.
Is that the same for you, Justin?
Yeah, definitely. The thought of that happening in 1985, I think, is probably very unlikely, but we get people now saying to us that through the things that we do, we're helping their mental health, the fact that they don't feel alone sometimes. I mean, we've got people that sort of live in their own, fans that live on their own. They use our podcast as a thing for sort of connecting to other fans, and definitely fans have actually said to me and opened up to me about their mental health, which, you know, I would have thought was unlikely when I started going. I think it's definitely more moving towards that now, yeah.
And Jace, going back in the day for you, different for nowadays?
Oh, without question. I mean, everyone's been through dark days. I've had my own personal experience with injuries, couldn't get fit, couldn't stay fit. Then, of course, I had testicular cancer, which was another period in my life which I was very happy and open to talk about it because it helped other men. I've been through divorce as well. That was one of the darkest days, in fact, probably the darkest days of my life. And when you go, you don't know what situation other guys are in. They might have lost a loved one, they might be ill, there might be some work problems, there might be financial problems. These are all different things that happen in everyday life that you guys must see now, and hopefully that things like this can really open men up to sharing those opinions.
Well, of course, you know, it's not only talking about the football, it's talking about, you know, life in general, and you know, your mental health being is really important, you know, to offload sometimes and have friends there that you can discuss certain issues with.
I just want to take this opportunity to take a break from football to give everyone watching 3 tips. Tips about encouraging people, whether that be friends, teammates or family, to feel safe about opening up of how they're really feeling. They're very simple, they're very effective, and they're very important. Tip 1, take time to reach out to a mate. Send a text or even a voice note. They might not reply the first time you send a text, but it's always important to follow up. Tip number 2, try to be honest. If you're going through a tough time and a friend asks you how you are, try to be honest. Being honest is everything. It takes a brave person to be honest, but I know for a fact that talking can really help. Tip number 3, give your mates the tools to reach out. Let them know that the Samaritans are free to call on 116 123. They're there to listen without judgment or pressure. I made the call, so can you. They're there 24/7, 365 days a year. To recap, tip 1, take time to reach out to a mate. Tip 2, try to be honest. Tip 3, give your mates the tools to reach out. So as I spoke about at the start of the video, we're going to talk about the highs and lows, what it's like to being a football fan, right? Justin, best and worst moments of being a Watford fan?
As a Watford fan, we don't have very many best moments, but the Troy Deeney goal and that whole game, semi-final against Leicester in 2013, is up there for me. That was such a special day. Really, really enjoyable, and just, you know, the pitch invasion and everything that went with it, absolutely fantastic. The fact that we didn't win in the final didn't matter. That was the day for me, definitely is the best day.
And what about you, Chris?
Well, all the trophies we've won, because we have won trophies, Tottenham Hotspur. But no, the 2019 Champions League run to beat Manchester City the way that we did. Of course, at the end, it went to VAR. Pep was on his knees, disappointed. We went to the semi-final. It looked like in that second leg we were dead and buried. 3-0 down on aggregate at half-time. We come back, Lucas Moura hat-trick. An incredible moment. I've got goosebumps talking about it. But going to the Champions League final, I had my son there, had my dad there, 3 generations of Spurs fans, which we never ever thought that we'd get to a Champions League final. It was just a magical moment and memories you'll never ever forget.
It's also going through with your family as well. You shared that experience with family and friends, and you made. That's what football does, though, isn't it? It's that you need the highs, you need the lows to understand how they work, you know.
And Jace, best and worst moments as a Chelsea fan?
Well, do you know, I've been very lucky over the last 2 decades or so, but there's been some highs and some lows. There's been a few lows, especially recently, right? It's called the beautiful game for a reason. Chris, what are your beautiful memories of the beautiful game?
Well, we go through every single emotion, don't we, as a football fan? You know, in the 5th minute, we could be 2-0 up, and then we've lost 3-2 at the end of it. But it's about bringing people together. It's about talking, and you know, through the podcast, you know, we've helped a lot of people through mental health issues. And you know, I got a message the other week saying that someone is in hospital with having cancer treatment, and we've been helping them by them listening to the podcast. And you know, people call it therapy. you know, when we've lost and we're talking about the game. So it's about talking, it's about bringing people together, which is really enjoyable.
The thing for me is the friendships I've made since starting the podcast. People I've never met before, I now meet before games, after games. We go out for curries and stuff together. None of this existed before we did this. So massively positive what's come out of our podcasting for sure.
It's all about connections, right? So the beautiful game is what it is. It's exactly that. And I think for me, when the summer comes and England get together as a team, the whole nation gets together, and that's what it's about. Thanks for watching Talk Modern Football. Jace, it's been some great conversations today.
It's been brilliant. It's called The Beautiful Game for a reason, not just on the pitch, but you talk after the game, in the bar with your mates. Make sure you always talk.
Thanks to the boys, thanks to you,
Top
Jace, and thanks to talkSPORT and Free.